But the huge downfall is that you can't eat dinner with your family on those days that you're working. Hey everyone, welcome back to Nurse Catherine here. Welcome back to my channel. First things first, please make sure to subscribe to my channel and like this video if you're liking it already. Other than that, let's talk about what I'm talking about in today's video, and that would be 8-hour shifts versus 12-hour shifts. And also, I kind of want to give you an update where I'm at right now. Since I am moving to Georgia, I have to quit my job here in Pennsylvania. I put my 8 weeks notice in the other week, and if you didn't see that video, make sure to go check that out because it is very important to give your employer a significant amount of time before you leave your job. And I also did how to write a letter of resignation, so go check that out. You can find that right here or here, one of the sides. Other than that, in today's video, I just want to kind of give you an update where I'm at and what I'm looking at doing for my next opportunity in nursing rather than emergency room nursing, which I never thought I would leave, but I think I'm going to have to. So without further ado, let's get started. So first, let's talk about 8-hour shifts versus 12-hour shifts and which one I like better and which one probably would fit better for you based on your own personal schedule. First, let's talk about 12-hour shifts. That's been the majority of what I have worked in my nursing career. So I started off working 12-hour night shifts, 3 days a week, total of 36 hours a week. And now I am 7 a.m. to 7:30 p.m. So it's really 12.5-hour shifts depending where you work, because that half an hour is your lunch break, which you don't always normally get, especially if you're working in an emergency room. But other than that, let's talk about the day in the life of a 12-hour shift nurse. You wake up, you eat your breakfast, get ready, go to work. All right, you get to work, it's 6:45, okay? So you've already had to leave your house, who knows what time, depending how far you are. I'm about 30 minutes from the hospital. So I have to leave my house at about 6:05, 6:10, depending on traffic and if I need to get gas and stuff beforehand. So then I get to the hospital 6:40. Walk in, clock in at 6:53 is the earliest I can clock in. So here we go. You're up at 5 o'clock, okay? Get yourself ready, get yourself breakfast, pack your lunch. Now you're at work 2 hours later. So you've already been up for 2 hours during the day. You start your shift at 7 o'clock, okay? So the first 4 hours goes pretty fast normally, especially if you are on a med surge floor, because that is all of your med passing times. Those are your assessment times between 7 and 11. Goes pretty fast. If you're on a med surge floor or a floor that you know you normally get a lunch break, then you get your lunch break in between there. Wonderful, wonderful. Even in the ED, we do get lunch breaks sometimes. On med surge, there have been times I have not gotten lunch breaks, but for the majority of 3 years, I always got one every single day. I think maybe but one, maybe. Then you have the rest of your 8-hour shift. All right, you are clocking out at 7:30 at nighttime. You get to your car at 7:40. Takes you half an hour to drive home, so it's like 6:15-ish by the time you get home. Now you have to eat your dinner. So it's 8:15 at night, you eat your dinner, and then you have to go to work the next day. So you go to bed, you hang out, relax a little bit with your husband, your boyfriend, whoever it may be, and then girlfriend, who knows, your dog, your cat, and then you go to bed and do the whole thing again the next day. So obviously there was really no time for anything else during that 12-hour shift day, which is a downfall of 12-hour shifts. But the greatest thing about 12-hour shifts is that you only have to work 3 days a week if you're a 36 hours a week kind of nurse. So you have 4 days off every single week. So you work 3 days, you have 4 days off. Wonderful. It is really, really nice to have that. But the huge downfall is that you can't eat dinner with your family on those days that you're working. You can't go to the gym on the days that you're working. At least I can't because of how far I work from the hospital, and I want to get a good 7-hour sleep night. So that is a huge downfall about not being able to eat with family, not being able to go to the gym. There's not much you can do around the house because you're exhausted because you just worked 12 hours. and you have to do it all again the next day and maybe again the next day. So that's a 12-hour shift. Now let's talk about 8-hour shifts. If you are an 8-hour shifter, and the downfall and the pros of that. So 8-hour shift, you wake up, same time. Let's say you're working 7 to 3:30, and you wake up, get everything ready, same exact schedule in the morning. But this time, instead of getting out at 7:30 p.m., you're getting out at 3:30 p.m. So after that, you can get kids off the bus. You can do homework with your children. You can go to the gym. You can cook dinner. You can go grocery shopping. But the downfall is that you're probably working 5 days a week, or maybe 4 days a week, but most likely 5 days a week that you're working. So you only have 2 days off. So you're working 5 and have 2 days off rather than working 3 and having 4 full days off. Downfall about 8-hour shifts is that you really don't have time for appointments, like hair appointments if you want to do it during the daytime, or doctor's appointments, or dentist appointments, anything like that. But you can do all those other things and still have a normal family life, if you want to call it that. So that's the biggest difference between 12s and 8s. Now, what do I personally prefer? I always preferred 12-hour shifts because I loved that I had off 4 days a week. But now that my husband and I are trying to be a lot more intentional with the time that we spend together and how we kind of want to set up our future for children one day, possibly, if God grants us that ability, that I really never want a 12-hour job again. So this is the predicament I am running into with looking into a new job for where I am going to in Georgia, that I cannot find any emergency room jobs that are 8-hour shifts or even 10-hour shifts. I just cannot find that. I would do 10-hour shifts, work 4 days a week, and have off 3 days a week. That'd be totally okay because you still are saving those 2 hours in the day to do something else. But that's the predicament I'm in, and that's what I wanted to share with you guys, is that when you're deciphering between an 8-hour shift and a 12-hour shift job, how intentional are you going to be with that time with your significant other or your children on the days that you are working? Are you one of those people who wants to be able to go out to dinner at nighttime, or go on a hike after work, or be outdoorsy, go to the park, play with your kids, bring your dog to the dog park? Or are you somebody who just wants to come home and kind of relax for an hour and then go right to bed, but then have 4 full days to do that the rest of the week instead of 2 full days to do that the rest of the week? So that's kind of what you have to ask yourself when you're deciphering between an 8-hour shift and a 12-hour shift. And at this point in my life, I am done with 12-hour shifts. I am exhausted. I am not there emotionally or really physically or spiritually, everything, for my husband, for when I come home after those long 12-hour shift days. And I really want to be a lot more intentional with our marriage and holding our marriage first rather than my job. And if that means I can't have a job that I 100% fully am loving, what I think I will love, which is emergency nursing, I would rather 95% love my job, 5% say, hey, it's not emergency nursing, but I would rather have a better marriage at home than hold a 12-hour shift emergency room job and have that be the focus of my life rather than my marriage be the focus of my life and glorifying God in that rather than at work and kind of being selfish in a way with that. So those are all questions you have to ask yourself when you're trying to figure out if you want to work 8s, 10s, 12-hour shifts when it comes to nursing. That's it, guys. Sorry, that was, oh my gosh, that was like over 10 minutes, I think. Much longer than I anticipated that to be. Sorry about that. But it's important because you're setting yourself up for success before you get that job, and you want to set your family up for success as well. And you really do have to ask yourself those questions when you're trying to figure out if you want to do 8-hour shifts versus 12-hour shifts. If you guys have any questions for me, shoot a comment below. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, and I will see you in Saturday's video. Saturday's video, I'm sorry I didn't post one last Saturday. I was a little tied up with some stuff, but Saturday's video is how I spend my days off So make sure to tune in for that. But other than that, I'll see you Saturday. Have a very, very blessed week.